Tamil Nadu Global Investors Meet 2024 is happening in Chennai on January 7 and 8.
Hello and a warm welcome to Federal's special program Capital Beat. In what has been hailed as historic and the golden day for Assam, a tripartite agreement was signed on December 29th between the United Liberation Front of Assam, Union Home Ministry, and the Assam state government. And according to this peace agreement, ULFA, the outfit will be disbanded. The cadres will vacate the designated camps which were run by the government since 2008. uh, the outfit also has said that they will bear no political ambitions. They will surrender the arms. Now, but the million-dollar question is that the main protagonist of this peace agreement, that is ULFA independent chief Paresh Barua, still stays away, and the opposition has been calling this peace agreement as a political gimmick because the terms and references of this peace agreement have not been brought out in the public domain. So the big question is that what will be the outcome of this peace process, and is there hope or uncertainty in the coming days in Assam? Joining me now is Major General A.K. Sewaj. So thank you so much for joining. We have Samir Purkasta with us, who's our senior editor with the Federal. We have Suhas Chakma, who is the director of the Rights and Risks Analysis Group. Thank you so much, Suhas and Samir, both of you. And let me begin with Suhas, the today's conversation. That Suhas, how would you look at this peace process? Does it bring really something tangible for Assam?
In my view, I think the Aravind Rajkar faction of the ULFA is irrelevant. From the time they have been sent back or deported back pushed back from Bangladesh, and they have been basically living with, you could say, the captivity of the government of India, having this certain kind of understanding. And this agreement could have been signed at least half a decade back now. And if you are not able to make the contents of the agreement public, it basically shows that you yourself are not confident about a peace agreement when you sign actually should be shared with the public so that people can appreciate it. Instead of having these particular documents, we just basically have bits and pieces, the photo opportunities, etc. That's not the way a peace agreement could work out. In my view, if this agreement was not signed, if it wasn't signed, it would not have made any difference whatsoever, because those who are supposedly in the designated camps or the entire leadership, I mean, they are not the one who are any longer in any kind of movement with respect to the issues raised by. So beyond a photo opportunity, I do not see any kind of impact. And last comment on the issue which I wanted to make, even Paresh Barua faction. I mean, is that an organization relevant in Assam? I mean, if you go across Assam, I mean, I had seen from the 1990s when Assam was, witnessing massive insurgency, where people, whether you go to Kokrajhar, Dibrugarh, all over Assam, there was intense public support movement. And today, if you go to Assam, I don't think insurgency is an issue. Assam had crossed that long before. And in fact, the last leg of insurgency was Bodoland. So after Bodoland, ULFA might have planted a bomb here and there. That too, even in and around Delhi, you will have even certain gangsters doing all these things. So in that sense, I don't think ULFA is an entity in the psyche of the people of Assam, except possibly few who view the history in a different way. So beyond that, I don't think it's a factor in Assam.
But Suhas, one more question, and then I'll come to Samir. What do you think is the purpose of this peace process? Many say that, it was signed keeping in mind the 2024 elections. So it's almost like an election manifesto for BJP. Would you agree with that?
No, I don't think so, because, signing an agreement with the ULFA, I don't think it's going to get any kind of electoral benefits. But larger way, I think what the government of India wants to convey is the fact that, that we are the one who are pushing for peace in the Northeast. So if you bring, for example, you had signed an agreement with the UNLF. Once again, the contents are very unknown. And you have signed an agreement with the ULFA, again, contents are not known. You had signed a similar agreement with the NSA and IM, the agreements are known. So the government of India is on a spree of signing agreements for the last 6, 7 years, which people do not know, but they are trying to convey a message that we are serious about peace in the Northeast. And I think that's beyond that, message. I don't think insurgency is a political issue on which people vote in the Northeast. I think the romanticism with the insurgency had, ended long time back.
All right. So if that romanticism with the insurgency is over, Samir, and if I may ask you, then comes the aspect about the aspirations of the Assamese people. Now, the critics of this peace process have been saying that the aspirations of the Assamese people have not been taken into consideration. Say, for example, the land rights, the economic rights, culture, language, identity. Nothing has been protected and preserved. So, I'm really wondering what is the objective, the real objective behind signing this peace process then?
I mean, you are rightly pointed out that the main objective, like the main aspirations of the people have not been fulfilled. Even this pro-top faction of the ULFA, which have signed the peace process, their main demand, like, granting ST status to certain tribal communities of the states, has not been fulfilled. Then on land rights, we are told that some legislature, there is a clause that Assam Assembly will pass a legislation to ensure that outsiders cannot buy or sell land in Assam. Only the indigenous community can do that. But then there is a problem. Who is indigenous? The debate is still going on who is an Assamese, and Assam government had formed a committee to find out who is an Assamese, and it's remained inconclusive, the definition. So it's very difficult to say that land will be reserved for certain people, indigenous community, when you don't know who are indigenous. So this kind of ambiguity is there, and basic objective of this agreement, I think, is to create an hype ahead of 2024 elections, to sell it as a major,
Achievement.
game changer, or put adjective. Basically, if you go through though entire contents of the agreement has not been made public, but if you go through the highlights, it's all like like a setting up of a cultural center. This any government can do any day. These are it's looked like an election manifesto of the BJP.
Right.
And
No, but
in
Samir,
fact,
there's another question, that is the government trying to hide something? Now, since the terms and references of this peace process have not been put out in the public domain, is the government still hiding something? Or they do not have answers for certain issues, and maybe perhaps that's the reason they have not brought out in the public domain? Yes, Samir.
that's the hallmark of this BJP government is secrecy. Everything they do is in a very opaque manner. Even this framework agreement with NSC and IM, which was signed with much hype in 2015, till date nothing has moved, since then. So, and nobody knows what is the content of that framework agreement. It's very hush hush. Like many bills which are passed in the parliament without any debate, without any consultation, just pushed through certain things, and then dump it on the people, create an hype, so that the pulling wolves on people's eyes. That's all. So this is another of that kind of stratagem which they have, both the center and the state government has devised ahead of the 2024 elections. And one reasons could be, of late, BJP was facing some difficulties in Upper Assam, particularly after delimitation. The main, the larger community there, Ahom communities, were very angry because the number of Ahom dominated seats in Assam have been reduced from 9 to 3. after this delimitation process. So there were even the demand for separate Ahom land was revived, and all these things were on. And if you see this alpha leadership, and most of these protocol leaders are aging, most of them are 60 plus. So in any way, they cannot go back to jungle and fight, wage a guerrilla warfare. So they had to sign a peace agreement today or tomorrow.
In a
It
way,
was
they're trying to seek refuge in India because they themselves know their physical limitations now. So that is also another reason why they signed the peace process.
But see, they had no other option because, if anybody deserves credit for this peace agreement, it is Sheikh Hasina, the Bangladesh Prime Minister. In 2009, they were all the top leadership of the Alpha were caught and then handed over to Indian government, including the Alpha chairman, Aravinda Rajwa. Only Alpha leader, Commander-in-Chief Paresh Borua, could escape. So he is still out. He is believed to be somewhere in a place called Ruli, somewhere in Myanmar-China border.
No, but Samir, Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma has been saying that this peace process will not fructify if Paresh Barua is not involved. Now, does Himanta Biswa Sarma stick to this stand? Still, he agrees to what he has said, or he has shifted his stand in any way?
No, he is still saying. Other day also he said that Paresh Barua will be brought to the peace process, and the effort is on. And Paresh Borua also day before yesterday said that he admitted that he is in talk with Mr. Himanta Biswa Sarma. But as Suhas has pointed out, even if Paresh Borua is a spent force, he is also an aging leader. So, whether they are joining peace process or not will not make any huge difference. See, the Assam scenario has changed since 2001. It started changing from 2001, and since 2010, 11, it has drastically changed. Peace has come, and Himanta Biswa Sarma government is reaping the benefit of that. So there is peace anyway in Assam now. So and all Protok and Alpha Independence, these are all spent force. But of course, yes. See, when you have signed a peace, brought them and entered into an agreement, it had to be taken to a logical conclusion, and the agreement is that simple at that.
Right.
And so these phrases like it's a game changers or historic movement, this is hype, but it's a welcome development because today or tomorrow they had to sign peace agreement because they could not be kept in this designated camps with arms for years after years. Already 12 years has passed.
Right. All right. Major General Sibach, how do you see the impact of this peace process on the security situation in Assam? Do we say that now there's hope, there's a renewed hope, or we see some kind of uncertainty still when it comes to the atmosphere in Assam? Yes, sir.
Yeah, Nilu, I have operated against Bodos as well as ULFA from 96 to 99. Both in Kokrajhar and Bogaigaon, and then in Morigaon as well as in Guwahati itself. One can say that obviously everyone knows that this organization was raised in 79 and in 1990 it was banned when they have taken arms against the state of India. And thereafter, what is the game changer? Why they have come for peace talks? How things have improved. Obviously, after 1997, 98, 99, the insurgency was on. The reason was that there were a number of camps in Bhutan. Beyond Manas Reserve Forest, there were a number of camps. And thereafter, along with the Bhutan government, Indian Army also helped them in terms of logistics support. They have cracked on their hideouts, and that is the time when this ULFA as well as the NDFB, the BLTF also, they all moved their camps from there. Majority of them were killed, and a few of them able to escape, and they came to basically in Bangladesh in Chittagong Hills. And that is where they were given a safe entry, they were operating. So they were still a force to reckon with. Obviously, when in 2009, the Sheikh Hasina, when she came into power, that she was very cooperative with government of India, and she has caught number of ULFA leaders, especially Arvind Rajkova and Anup Chetia. They were handed over to India. That has made a tremendous impact, that after they were given back to us, the talks started off. Anup Chetia played a major role. Arvind Rajkova, he is the group commander. So certainly it has made a tremendous impact. Let us, now I will say,
No,
if
but
we would have signed,
General
if we would have,
General
no, Nilu,
General
just,
Shiva, no, I'm saying agreeing to a large extent with what you are saying. Why are the people then saying that this pact does not look like an agreement which has been signed between the sovereignty-seeking group and the government? There has to be something which is sticking out, and that is why it's being criticized.
absolutely. See, Ninu, what I'm trying to convey is it would have been ideal that if in case it would have been signed with both the group. Because the other group, which is ULFA independent of Paresh Barwa, has very rightly brought out he's still hiding in Myanmar and all. The talks are going on with him, and possibly, to me, it looks like that time is not too far off when he will be also brought on the negotiating table. I do agree the insurgency has lost the punch in Assam, so he will come out. Possibly they are working out terms and conditions. But the point today is that if thinking that it has not made any impact, I will only draw a parallel to this is the Bodo package which was signed with the NDFP, the Bodo terrorist group and BLTF. It has worked very well. So it will work in the sense, the point is, what is Assam today requiring? Assam today requiring is a economic and financial package. As it's the insurgency is almost dead there. But certainly these, insurgents who are in the camp, they have to be also brought to the mainstream. Their weapons are there. They have to brought. There's some package. Remember that certain package India has signed, and we have learned lesson. Let's say in '84 we signed a package with the Mizoram Mizo National Front. It paid off, and it is working very well. So my point is that if the government has not given all terms and condition in public, one should not suspect too much. I'm sure the government is working, and government is sincerely working that in case they can rope in Parvez Burwa insurgent group also, then it become a concrete. But certain 3-4 things. One is the financial and economic package the government has announced in the second thing is that the 6 tribes which want a scheduled tribe status, I suppose they have not spoken, but they have possibly given a lot of weightage to it, and it may increase to more than 50%, but the government is working on that. And also, who is the actual Assami? I suppose they have said 24th March 1971 they are trying to bring. But to me, it looks like that we should not jump the gun. The government has sincerity in trying to bring not only peace, because the peace in Assam is very important for to Northeast. It is to Act East policy. Remember this, whether it is an international trilateral highway going through Mizoram or Manipur, and also the Kaladan Nodal project, which is a key changer. They will all make a difference. Northeast peace cannot prevail until there is a peace in Assam. So accord, I suppose, is a good beginning. Maybe that they should be more transparent, trying to give all terms and conditions which have been signed with between both the parties in the tripartite talk.
Okay, I'll come back to you, General Sebach. Suhas was raising his hand, and also Samir. So Suhas, I'll come to you first. That are we needlessly suspecting the government's intentions? Or are there serious reasons to suspect what the government is doing? Because we are attaching electoral overtones to it that, it has been done keeping in mind the 2024 elections. Also, the terms and references of this peace process have not come out. So probably is the government hiding? But General Sibat says that no, we should give some time to the government. They are working on a parallel process. What would you say? Yes,
Well,
Suhas.
I think the parallel process which goes on with Paresh Barua, that's completely something has not been agreed upon. Nobody knows what are the contents. But this is something on which you have already signed the agreement. And each of the issues which you mentioned by General Siraj and Sami, they are so contentious that you can actually see Assam erupting into another set of violence. Let me put it this way. Who is an indigenous? You cannot define an Assamese based on the Cartography, because the committee which was set up by the government, which was headed by Nilay Datta, it could not reach, Assamese themselves could not reach agreement. Who are the Assamese? So if you say 1971 or 1951, then let us be frank, each linguistic and religious groups, we are present there. And if you are going to define on that basis, you are not going to find a solution. Now, the 6 communities which are to be declared as a scheduled tribe, I'll just say one thing. The Assamese people who are trying to be included, Matang, Marav, Chutias, Gujrat, Bangshis, etc., the 6 communities, at no point of time in history, either the British or India, they were classified or termed as scheduled tribe. And just because you have a political issue, now you try to claim you are a scheduled tribe. Scheduled tribe is analogous to indigenous peoples. You are basically creating problems. And they cannot disclose the contents of the agreement because of this kind of difficulties, including on land rights issue. And Assam lands are regulated by Assam land regulation of 1888. And chapter 10 of that land regulation gives certain rights to the scheduled tribes, which now are being eroded. So if you give rights to other groups, the Assamese, then the scheduled tribes who are defined as scheduled tribe now, they will be completely marginalized. And there has been a strong opposition from Bodos, Karbis, Nisings, everybody in Assam. So you have to be careful as to what you create. And that is why I'm saying, I think the government, they have signed the agreement. And over a period of time, people will forget what is this agreement about. Because the moment you bring out the text, I can at least say that there will be so many protests in Assam. Somebody will be saying, I am also indigenous. Somebody will say, no, you are not scheduled tribe. Somebody will be saying, how do you define? Because when you sign an agreement on Bodoland, the 6th schedule status which you have given to the Bodos.
Are you saying that Assam could almost see something of what has been happening in Manipur?
Absolutely. Please remember the 6th schedule to the Constitution of India, which was given to the Bodos. The Bodoland Territorial Council doesn't have rights over land. This is the only ADC in the Northeast under the Constitution, which doesn't have control over the lands, because land is so contentious. If the Bodos were to be given land rights, all the Assamese, forget about the other Muslims and etc. They will also be taken out. So that is why these issues are very contentious. And I don't think, that's why possibly they do not want to make it public. And last point, I think, which I wanted to mention, is I think we should forget the Act East policy. Simply because Myanmar has collapsed. Only day before yesterday, 197 troops from Chin land and Arakan side crossed over to India. They were sought shelter. India had repatriated them. That's a state which has no government and will not have a government possibly for the next 50 years. And you want to go to Thailand, you have to cross Myanmar first. But Myanmar junta has collapsed. It's not going to find or recover the territories. So that government doesn't exist. So we have to be careful not about our Act East policy. We have to be careful about, the eastern part of India's problem spiraling over to the entire region. It will be completely different if the Myanmar government collapses.
Right. All right. Samir, you were also raising your hand at that point of time. Yes, over to you.
First of all, if you can, I don't know if you can show it, the statement highlights of the, agreement. There, which Alpha gave immediately after they signed the agreement, and they are saying no consensus on SP statusing as. So So there is, immediately that's not happening. And why there is no consensus? Because there are opposition to the ST demand of these six communities. And if these six communities are granted a ST status, there can be again another Manipur-like situation in Assam. So so and that's why it's kept in abeyance. And now to compare this Bodo agreement and this Mizo peace deal with this is, it's it's to compare chalk with cheese. I'm saying why? Because see, in case of BLT's agreement, when the agreement was signed with the BLT was a major force. It was active. Secondly, if you see the agreement, like as territorial council, an autonomous council under the sixth schedule was granted to the Bodos to give them some kind of, constitutional protection to their rights. So that was a major concession which the government of India gave for to fulfill the aspiration of the Bodos. In this case, nothing of that sort has been done. No concession has been given. And basically, this agreement is a reiteration of the this Assam Accord signed with the All Assam Student Federation Union, ASU, in 1985. It's repetitive. In that accord also, it was said that, constitutional safeguards, protections, land, and all these things will be given. Special financial package.
But do you see BJP reaping political dividends out of this peace process? Is there a possibility where they can reap the political dividends?
See, as an optic, of course, this agreement has a optic value. And BJP will definitely try to cash in, particularly in Upper Assam.
Okay.
So though these leaders are aging and all, some kind of sentimental attachment, they have waged war for the Assamese cause for so long. So some emotional connect is still there with this leadership, in some pockets. So BJP may try to take benefit of that. In that, but whether they will, succeed or not, I don't know. It is too early to say, because there are also now we are hearing there are voices of resentment, because many are saying that this is a sellout deal.
All right. So, Ms. General Sebas, concluding remarks from you then, that will this peace process bring hope or uncertainty then? Suhas already has pointed out that, and also Samir, that we will see a lot of contention, as far as who the indigenous people are. There could be, the social fabric of Assam could be torn apart if there is violence, if there are riots because of this issue. So are we to assume that this peace process which has been signed, the tripartite agreement which has been signed, is actually leading Assam into a deeper morass then?
No, I don't think so, Nilu. The point which is there is this seemingly looks to be work in progress. The point is that today that there were ULFA insurgents which were in camps. You can't keep them for indefinite period. Some sort of solution has to come. Something has already come out, and if the government has not declared what were basically the context, it means that certainly certain things are still being worked out with them. And I suppose that is the way we should take it. And let us not underestimate that they have been now Air Force. Remember that Northeast getting into an insurgency mode does not take much time, because whether it is Bhutan, whether it is Bangladesh, tomorrow which government come in Bangladesh can make a tremendous impact. So therefore the solution has to be found within. We cannot think that things will happen in Bangladesh or in Bhutan. See, I have seen the insurgency when it was in full-blown, bold by the Bodos as well as the ULFA, and they have collided. They otherwise are against each other. They feel that both are, as a citizen, one right is on the other. But when it comes to the militancy, the NDFB and ULFA was working in collision. So my point is, of course, the government has not spelled out what are the milestone of this tripartite agreement, but certainly they are sincere in bringing some sort of peace in Northeast, which is already there. They want to encash on that. And then another thing is certain things is work in progress. They are certainly the point which they are trying to convey. If they gave scheduled tribe status to these six tribes, then it has its own ramification, exactly what happened in Manipur. So it means it is a complex problem. The government is aware of it, but government was under tremendous pressure to now do something. So I suppose that's why they just put out this is work in progress.
General Sivaj, if you are also agreeing that, this who the indigenous people are and these tribes could create trouble in Assam, then what was the purpose? Then it's futile why the peace process was signed up completely.
But you see, that's what I'm saying. We are unaware about what are those finer points which it has been signed. But I suppose that we must understand one thing. The intention of the government is very noble. They want some sort of peace there. And this is work in progress. In case they can able to get ULFA independent and of Paresh Barwa, that will be a game changer. To me, it looks like that, because then you can really say that the ULFA and Government of India has signed agreement. As on today, once it has been signed with only part of the ULFA, and it is not been spelled out as we are trying to convey, that possibly it means this. Any agreement signed in Northeast will have its implication, because it are pro and negative. So if you sign this, then there are certain people who would say that why it is happened like this. So therefore, it's a complex problem. It needs a solution, which is a balance, taking everyone into consideration. I suppose rather than jumping the gun, let's go slowly and steadily and try to bring out this thing. To me, it looks like that the government is sincere. They want to bring peace, and they want to ensure that the insurgency is completely wiped out from Assam and the development take place. And that's why they have announced a package of financial and economic package. But I will certainly say that this package would have been ideal or trilateral in case the Parvesh Barwa group also join, because then it will make that, yes, we have able to now look after the aspirations of the Assami people, and there is no more the ULFA group which is there. And I suppose the government of the day is working on that, both state government and central government. Nilu.
All right. I'll come for quick comments to Samir and Suhas. Samir, over to you first. So if Paresh Barwa, if Mr. Amit Shah manages to get Paresh Barwa on board, and he also signs the peace process, so does it mean that BJP will win all the Lok Sabha seats in Assam? Does it mean that then?
Signing a peace agreement, see, you can make political statement from this kind of agreement and all, create hype and all these things for optic, fine. But signing of agreement by itself doesn't solve any problem. In Northeast, you see since 1949, so many agreements have been signed. For instance, with the Nagas, 8-point agreement, then 16-point agreement, Shillong Accord. Now another, we have seen framework agreement. The crux of the matter is that you have to, fulfill the aspiration of the people, based on which these people, certain groups of people have taken up arms and waged a movement against the Indian state. So unless and until those, core issues are addressed, one group will sign agreement, then taking advantage of this existing problem, another group will be formed, and this will go on and on. So what is important is to, address the core issues. Whether this agreement will be able to do that, there is I have serious doubt.
All right.
Question mark on
All right, Suhas, the concluding remark from you. Yes.
No, I think my limited point is none of us are suspecting the government of India. But it is understood that when you sign an agreement, it means you have reached agreement on certain points. And on those points, you have the responsibility for both sides to convey to the people that this is what we have agreed on. So in my view, there is no agreement. Because if you cannot disclose the agreement, then it basically means you have not signed anything. There may be some general agreement that this is the way we go forward. But on specificities or specific issues which are written in an agreement and it's signed, it is not there. And that's why the statement that there is no agreement on the status, etc., are being highlighted. So we have to take it on, in a way, we have to take the point of view that the government of India actually has not signed the agreement. There are some general agreements which are exactly reflective of the clause 6 of the Assam Accord, where they will set up a committee to look into cultural aspects of etc. of the Assamese people. Nobody had looked into it. Then when the CA came up, they set up a committee, and the chairman is no longer there, and so it just like that. So we are not suspecting government of India. You have worked on it for the last 10 years. You might as well take another 10 years. But when you tell the people that you have signed an agreement, the government should have the courage to say this is what we have signed, and they have not exposed that.
Right.
One
So basically,
point,
when it comes to
one
yes,
quick
yes,
point,
yes.
this Amit Shah's claim in Bengal that there will be CA. This is antithesis to what the aspiration of the Assamese people. Assamese people are saying nothing doing, no CA. Here in Bengal, you are saying that there will be CA. So there are total contradictions.
It looks like a total confusion, but as far as this peace agreement is concerned, it looks short on specifics. Many, in fact, critics have also pointed out that, the clauses which have been mentioned in this pact, they just look like routine duties, of any elected government. So, of course, we'll have to wait and watch. And as General Sibat said, that, it looks like a work in progress. So we'll have to wait and watch how it unfolds. Thank you so much, General Sibat. Suhas, Samir, thank you so much. It was wonderful having you on the program, and one appeal to the viewers who are watching this discussion, subscribe to our channel, send us your feedback, and stay tuned to The Federal. Thank you.
Tamil Nadu Global Investors Meet 2024 is happening in Chennai on January 7 and 8. Subscribe to The Federal's YouTube page for more news and updates.